Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit interesting. So a while back I had built the IJN Yahagi light cruiser, and the kit came with this second hull, which wasn't supposed to be in there, and I confirmed that this is a Kuma class cruiser, so I decided that we're going to go on ahead and build it as she was sinking. I have an old Fletcher from Revell that I'm going to be taking a few pieces from, but most of the pieces are going to have to be handmade for the superstructure and mast. Kuma was torpedoed by HMS Tally-Ho, and this caused a bunch of fires to spread amidships, so I cut out some holes to put some cotton through. I also thought it would be pretty neat to have some lighting effect, so we're going to cut a hole out in the bottom of the ship and stick this light in there. Kuma was struck by two torpedoes at starboard stern, and thus it's going to sink that way. I found this perfectly shaped piece of cardboard to stick the stern down in, but the cardboard itself is too short, so I had to add a little bit to the front. The bridge itself was largely intact on the wreck when they discovered the ship, and thus that means it was not engulfed in flames, so I have to completely build it. I did so making it out of cardboard and some stretched sprue. The bridge windows look rough, but that's alright, as it's standard for Japanese warships to place mattresses around them, which I made out of clay. You could get a better detail on this on my IJN Akagi video, part 2. Just after the ship's bridge, there are two sets of torpedo tubes on each side of the vessel. I have to hand make these. With Kuma almost entirely completed, it's time to start getting to work on the water. Simply just roll up a bunch of aluminum foil to shape around the ship, and glue it down with simple white glue. It's standard for Japanese cruisers to have these brass bars running across the linoleum deck. It's a little difficult to paint them in these scales, so I'm just going to use a coloring pencil to fill them in. Kuma had two heavy anti-aircraft guns just after the torpedoes, so I had to hand make those. And this is the completed superstructure for the bow. After giving the aluminum foil a coat of sea blue, it was time to attach Kuma to the base. Now I'm dry brushing with white to give the waves a little bit of definition. As a ship sinks, the waves around it get fairly rough, so I'm going to replicate this with just some tissue paper dipped in water. The tissue paper dipped in water is also good for making waves going over the deck as it starts to submerge. When looking at Kuma's blueprints, there's another mast towards the stern of the ship under a section that's been submerged, but the mast itself still must stick above the water, so I had to create that with stretch sprue. For some added detail of crew trying to escape the ship, I have a few ropes strung over the side. And the final thing to do is just apply rigging. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, why not subscribe and like down below, and have a wonderful day.